I know I scared you with earlier's video. And if you haven't watched it, then don't, please, genuinely don't, because you'll be traumatized. But who am I kidding? You're probably going and searching for it right now. And then when you're done with that one, you're going to come and watch this one. And that's okay too. But if you thought that was absolutely evil, then click off this video too. Because what I'm about to tell you is somehow even worse. And I say somehow because I genuinely didn't think things could get even more horrific than a protected witness being murdered before he could testify and being murdered in front of his wife and kids. But South Africa said, hold my beer, and decided to remind us that in South Africa, evil has no bottom. Over the weekend, again, there was a mass shooting while Witness D was getting shot at. Not just any shooting, a targeted massacre that left multiple people dead in what appears to be another hit connected to organized crime. And the timing? Perfect. It was right in the middle of the Madlanga Commission hearings, where we're supposedly investigating how criminals had infiltrated law enforcement and politics. For those of you who don't know, Madlanga Commission is currently investigating whether drug cartels are controlling political parties. You can't make this up. We're literally holding hearings about political killings and organized crime violence, unsolved murders. And while those hearings are happening, people are being massacred in broad daylight. It's like the criminals are watching El Chapo and Narcos and then going, oh, we should definitely try killing them like that. And then they decided to go provide live examples of exactly what everybody is testifying about and why you will be one of those people if you genuinely say anything. The details are still coming out, but what we know is absolutely chilling. Multiple victims executed. Executed. This wasn't a robbery gone wrong or some random act of violence. This was calculated. This was organized. This was people being eliminated. And based on the pattern we've been seeing, it's almost certainly connected to the same criminal networks that are being exposed at the Madlanga Commission. I mean, think about it. Think about the timing here. Because you'll say, hi man, Sama, stop conspiracy theorizing. No, Ket Matlala just testified and implicated multiple senior politicians and police officials. He threw them all under the bus. Witness D gets murdered before he can testify after Matlala. And then there's a mass shooting the same day that looks suspiciously like another round of witness elimination or territorial enforcement by criminal syndicates. This is what happens when criminals operate with complete impunity, knowing they can do whatever the heck they want. They don't just commit crimes, these people. They don't commit crimes quietly. They commit them loudly, they commit them violently and publicly because they know there will be no consequences. They know that the police is on their payroll and they can't or won't stop them. They know the courts are too slow and too compromised. They know that politicians are either on their payroll or too scared to act because their friend is on their payroll and will kill them if they do. We need to connect the dots here because this isn't just coincidence. DJ Waras said General Kwanazi is, I quote, one man against the ANC, and asks if people know how many bodies the ANC have put to the ground. Days later, Witness D is murdered. Now there is a mass shooting. Cold cases are suddenly being solved within days after Mkwanazi's press conference, which Waras pointed out is as suspicious as hell because it implies police knew who committed these crimes all along, but were doing absolutely nothing about it. This is what a captured state looks like. This is what happens when organized crime doesn't just exist alongside government, it is the damn government. The people who are supposed to investigate these murders are allegedly taking bribes from the murderers. The people who are supposed to protect witnesses can't even keep them alive for a weekend. And you think you're safe. And the people committing these massacres know they can do it in broad daylight with you watching because nobody's going to come for them. I mean, they could not shoot the people, but they will. So where are the consequences? Where are the consequences? Here's what absolutely kills me. Where are the arrests? Huh? Where's the emergency response? Where's the urgency? Huh? We just had a protected witness murdered. Now we have a mass shooting. People are dying in the streets while a commission investigates how criminals have captured the streets and law enforcement. And the response from your government is what? Ramaphosa's, let's discuss it over the next 6 months. What, another state of concern? That's the best Pinocchio can give you? Another promise to investigate? Another commission to investigate a commission and why the previous commission didn't work? People are dying, okay? Not in some abstract future sense, not as statistics in a report. I'm not some mad scientist right now. This weekend, people died. We're supposed to be chilling on December holidays, having conversations. What happened to get December, boss? We can't be having December, boss, when we're getting shot on the streets. This is terrorism. Terrorists have infiltrated our roads. Let's call it what it is. It's terrorism. These mass shootings, these assassinations, these people getting shot at in front of their families, witness murders, this is what organized terror designed to maintain control through fear looks like. It is criminals and their political protectors sending a message. We can kill anyone, anywhere, anytime, and nobody will stop us. Huh? That's not crime. That's not even organized crime. It's a parallel government operating through violence and fear. We've got two governments, the ANC government and the government on the streets. At least when the criminals make threats, they follow through. I don't know about the ANC. What kind of psychological impact is this going to leave on us by the time 2025 finishes? Think about what this does to regular people. You're living in a country where protected witnesses get murdered. Mass shootings happen regularly. The people investigating crime are accused of being criminals. Speaking the truth gets you killed. And the government's response is always too little, too late, or non-existent. How do you function? How do you build a life? How do you raise children? How do you invest in a future when the present is this violent and this chaotic? This is how societies collapse. Not with a bang, like a big bang nonsense. No, with a steady drumbeat of violence that becomes so normalized, people stop going to church and they get shocked. We're becoming desensitized to horror because horror is the daily reality. They first removed God, then removed the fathers. Now they're enforcing their rule on us through crime. Here's what needs to happen. Immediate action, for gosh sakes. Deploy military if necessary. Round up the suspects. Protect remaining witnesses with actual competent security. Fast-track prosecutions. Show that there are no consequences for this level of violence. But that's not going to happen. Here's what will happen. Statements, investigations of investigations, committees, reports, and if we're lucky, Ramaphosa addresses the nation. More massacres, more witnesses eliminated while he continues to run his mouth, and more families destroyed. Because the people who could stop this are either the ones doing it or the ones paid to turn the other cheek, to look the other way. They're following the Bible, but not in the way you and I do. The Madlanga Commission is supposed to be investigating organized crime and political killings. But while they're holding hearings and taking testimony and writing reports, people are being massacred in real time. It's like investigating a forest while the trees burn around you. At some point, you have to stop investigating and start acting. You have to stop asking how criminals infiltrated the system and start removing them from the system. You have to stop documenting violence and start preventing it. But that would actually require courage, competence, some balls, and political will. 4 things that our government doesn't have and that are desperately in short supply in South African governance right now. That's where we are. I told you this would be traumatizing. I told you to click off, but you are still here. Which means you understand that we cannot look away from this, and for that, I commend you. Because we cannot keep pretending this is not happening. We can't. We can't normalize this level of violence and dysfunction. I can't be here chilling, drinking my hot chocolate, knowing that there's a little girl out there being trafficked by illegal immigrants in South Africa. I can't do that. I'm sorry. That's not me being a patriotic South African. I don't know about you, but I can't do that. The criminals aren't even hiding anymore. They're operating in plain sight because they know nobody is going to stop them. They're paying the people who are supposed to stop them. That's not a country, that is a crime scene. Yes, sis.